Hello, welcome to my channel. I am going to finish putting this bike together. So I have the chain that came off of it with the link, and I'm just going to get rid of that chain and put this bad boy on. And I got a new stem that's a little shorter. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Something that cracks me up is this is what happens when you move is the other day before I did my live stream, I needed to get that chain off of the fit, and I couldn't find needle nose pliers, and I'm like, where did I put all my pliers? So I ended up finding out that Beth had a Leatherman, and I used the needle nose from that, only to later on find out that I have these drawers and I put all these tools in the drawer, and I completely forgot that this workbench has drawers in it. So maybe it's my age, I don't know, but anyway, now I know where all my non-bike specific tools went. Let's go ahead and get this video started.
Windy again on this trail. Woo! Try not to overshoot some of these this time.
Here we go, Chad.
Oh yes. Can't believe I just did that. Okay, you might be asking why I'm going to change out the stem. This is an S&M Enduro Stem, and there's two things that I like about this over the Challenger stem that's on my bike. One, back here, it's a lot smaller. It doesn't stick out quite as far, so it'll give me more knee clearance. And this is a 40 millimeter stem, meaning the reach is 40 millimeters. And the Challenger stem, I believe, is like 52 millimeters or something like that. So it'll bring the bars a little closer for me. Again, I'm only 5'7", so I think I want to try it and see if I like it. So if we compare, we can definitely see that this stem is shorter and has a lot more, or a lot less material behind it. Another thing that I'm seeing here is it's also going to raise the bars up a little bit. So we'll see whether I want that or not. These are 9-inch rise bars, and I have some 8.5-inch rise bars that I might want to use instead. We'll see. Okay, so I have the Odyssey Bluebird chain out. One of the things I really like about these chains, aside from it being really beefy and having longer pins, is it comes with this half link pre-installed. So I think that's pretty slick, because then I can set this chain up, and if I need that half link, it's already installed. And then if for some reason I don't need it, I can remove it. So another thing I just noticed, and I haven't seen this before with the Bluebird, but the master link is like a quick link style. It's similar to the SRAM quick link where they lock together. So I really like these. I do not like the kind of master links that have the one side with the two pins and then you snap the plate on. I trust these a lot more, so I'm going to actually use this master link if I can. So let's go ahead and get this installed. The first thing I need to do is figure out the length. Okay, so what I'm doing here to figure out the length, and I know my face is out of the picture, but I really want you to see what I'm doing here is I'm taking the chain, making sure it's all the way around both the sprocket and the rear cog, and I'm taking this and lining it up, and I see I have the wheel pretty far forward, so I see that I can take this link out, and then with that master link is, so there's inside plates and outside plates, and the master link is going to take place of this outside plate, and the half link has a wide to narrow. I don't know if you can see that, but it's half of a link and it goes from wide to narrow. So that will go right in there, and then I should be able to slide the wheel back just a tiny bit and tighten that right up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, I'm gonna really try getting in here close and show you how this works. So here's one half of the link, here's the other half, so you can kind of see how they look here. Let's take this out and kind of show you how they lock together. So they actually lock together like this. So they both look equal, and then you stick that in one side, this in the other, with the plate on the opposite side. Now these work really slick because you really, and I have never done one with an Odyssey chain. Oh, I always take the chain off the ring before I do this. And then it goes on there, and sometimes, yep, you can just pull it into place, and it looks like it did snap into place as I bumped the camera. And then let's see how this goes. Yeah, that's on there. And then when I pull the wheel back, yeah, now that's perfect length. So this is why I needed this half link, because when I didn't have the half length, the wheel was either too far forward or too far back. Now I can run these chain tensioners, get this wheel centered and perfectly set up, and then tighten these down. So I have these chain tensioners on this bike. Not all BMX bikes come with these, but as I tighten it, you can see the chain move, and then as I loosen it, so you kind of want the chain, I want it to be super tight. And then what I do is I spin in case there's any tight spots. There aren't any tight spots that I have found, because we're dealing with some pretty precision stuff with a cassette freewheel and a nicer sprocket. But I might, I wiggle it, might want it a little tighter. Yeah. And then what I do is I come over to the other side and I look and try to center the wheel. Make sure that the tire is centered between the seat stays. So it needs to get pushed back a little bit. Yeah, pretty centered. So then I'll go ahead and I'll hand tighten these. And I'll grab my socket, tighten them down. Not running pegs at the moment, someday. And then after I tighten them down, I'll double check everything. Make sure my chain doesn't have any crazy tight spots. Check the centering of my wheel, stuff like that. And then once I know everything's set, I'll lock these down, and then I will crank the axle nuts tight. And then this is done. And it's time to get to the brake. So I'm realizing I have a couple of issues here. The bridge cable is too long for where this mount is. Either this mount should have been further back, or I need a shorter bridge cable. I actually think this mount is in a decent place, and I just need a shorter bridge cable, because what's happening is this is running up against there before it engages the brake. So, and the other thing I'm seeing and noticing is, can you see that? Well, let's get the light on there. The interior core of the cable and the rubber is pushed back. So I need to cut this off and then find a little, I forget what you call them, the little metal caps or furls maybe, or something like that. I have no idea if that's the right name. But you do see one on this end of the cable. See that little metal piece? I need to find one of those. So I'm not gonna be able to do the brake today. Gonna have to go to a shop, find a shorter one of these, or one that has the NARP style, so I can slide this and make it the length I need it. So so much for getting the brake done, and it really doesn't matter because it is the middle of winter and I'm not going to be able to ride this bike anyway. So, and I'll switch out the stem in the meantime. But I think for now, that's going to end the video. I do have my chain on, pretty excited about that everything's lined up, works out, and once I get all the other parts dialed on this thing, I will show you the finished product. Really appreciate you supporting my channel. Please like and subscribe.